In this video, we're going to talk about counting techniques using the multiplication rule for counting. So let's take a look at an example. I really need to do laundry. I only have 3 clean shirts, 2 pairs of pants, and a pair of socks. How many different outfits can I create if I wear a shirt, a pair of pants, and matching socks? Okay, so I'm going to write out the colors for the shirts, pants, and socks now. Okay, so let's say I have a purple, a red, and an orange shirt. Pants, I have brown and green, and then socks, I have yellow and white. So now I'm going to draw a tree diagram that shows all of the different scenarios for this. Okay, so I started with the red, purple, and orange for the shirts, and then I did pants, brown and green, BG, and then for the very last one for socks, I did yellow and white for every single one. Now, let's use this tree diagram to write out what the sample space or all possible total outfits I can wear. Let's start with red. So that would be what? Red, brown, and yellow. Red, brown, and white. Now go to green. Right. That takes care of all the red shirts. Now we're going to do the same thing with purple. And now we'll do the exact same thing for orange. Okay, so let's count. We've got 6, we've got 12 different outfits. Now, is there another way that I can do this without having to list out the entire sample space? Well, we know there's 3 shirts, we know there's 2 pair of pants, and 2 socks. So what basic operation can I put in between the numbers to get to 12? Well, that would be multiplication. 3 times 2 is 6, and 6 times 2 is 12. This is where the multiplication rule of counting comes into play. So, if a task of a sequence of choices in which there are P selections for the first choice, Q selections for the second, and R selections for the third choice, then the task of making these selections can be done in what? P times Q times R ways. Okay, let's take a look at the next example. So suppose I want to create license plates. The first 3 spots must be letters, and the last 3 spots are numerical digits. When we talk about digits, we're talking about 0 through 9. So there's 10 different possibilities. How many different license plates can I create if repetitions are okay? Well, there's 26 letters in the alphabet, so again, I could do XXX and that would be fine. So 26 times 26 times 26. The last 3 are numerical digits. Well, there's 10. Again, I'm allowed to repeat. 0, 0, 0 is fine. So times 10 times 10. And when I multiply, I get this. 17,576,000. Okay, part B, repetitions are not allowed. So once I pick a letter or a digit, I can't use it again. So start with 26. Let's say I use X, I can't use it again, so I only have 25. Let's say I pick Y, I now only have 24 letters to pick from. Digits. If I pick 0 for starters, I can't pick it again, so I only have 9 digits. Let's say I pick 1, now I only have 8 to choose from. When I multiply, I get this. 11,232,000. Okay, part C. The first letter must be an H, and it ends in either a 3 or a 4, but repetitions are allowed. Start with the restrictions. Has to begin with an H, so there's only one H in the alphabet. Now, it can either be a 3 or a 4. Remember, I'm only picking one of them, but I have 2 options to pick there. So I could do H again because repetitions are allowed, so that's 26 times 26. I can repeat the digits, so that's 10 times 10. Multiplying, I get this. Okay, let's take a look at part D. So it's exactly the same problem, except I'm not allowed to have repetitions. So again, start with the restrictions. Starts with an H, there's only one. At the end, I can either be a 3 or a 4. Now, I can't pick H again, so it's 25 possible letters. Let's say I pick I now only have 24. Now, remember, I'm only picking a 3 or a 4. Let's assume in this case I pick a 3. I have 9 digits to pick from. Now, let's say I pick 1. I now only have 8. Multiply, you get this. Okay, let's take a look at the next example. So now I want to rank America's heroes. These heroes get laughed at and laughed at and laughed at constantly for our entertainment. And it's time to give these men their due respect. Who am I talking about? The Three Stooges. Okay? We want to rank them from best to worst. Now, they are Larry, Moe, and Curly. No, we do not count Shemp. He's not one of the original Three Stooges. So I want to rank them. How many do I have to pick from to begin with? Well, that's 3. Let's say we pick Larry. So we're not going to pick Larry again. So we either have Moe or Curly. So that's 2 choices. And then, of course, there's just 1 left, and that's 6. Now, I didn't ask to do this, but I certainly can write them all out over here. Just to verify that there's 6. Okay, let's talk about the next set of American heroes. They're more judged by the color of their skin, and they look different than anybody else. They fight for truth and justice to protect the city that they once loved. Who am I talking about here? That is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, or TMNT. Named for 4 Renaissance artists, Michelangelo, Raphael, Leonardo, and Donatello. So now let's rank them from best to least also. Well, there's 4 to pick from, so that's 4. Let's say you pick Leonardo, that leaves 3 turtles. Let's say it's Raphael, then you have 2 times 1, and that's 24. Okay, these are examples of what is called n factorial, n with an exclamation point. If n is greater than or equal to 1, then n factorial is n times n minus 1 times n minus 2 times 3 times 2 times 1. Start with a number, decrease, and multiply until you get to 1. So in other words, 6 factorial is 6 times 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1. That's 720. 3 factorial is 3 times 2 times 1. That's 6. And 1 factorial is 1. 0 factorial, well, n factorial is equal to n times n minus 1 factorial. I can divide both sides by n because it can't be 0. And now let n equal to 1. So that's 1 factorial divided by 1, and I have 1 minus 1 factorial on the other side. 1 factorial is 1, that's 0 factorial, and 1 divided by 1 is 1. So 0 factorial is equal to 1, not 0. Okay, so how many different ways can I line up everyone in statistics today? Well, in this case, let's assume there's 10 students. So that would be 10 factorial if I'm picking them all and selecting each one of them only once. Multiply, and I get this. Now, let me show you how to put n factorial into the calculator. Okay, so how do I put factorial in the calculator? Well, let's do the example that we just finished. So first of all, put in the number, which will be 10. Then hit Math. We're going to go all the way over to Prob, okay, and go down to number 4. That's the exclamation point for factorial. Hit Enter. Hit Enter again. There's my answer. Okay. All right, so let's do this one more time. Let's do 6 factorial. So type in 6 first, then hit Math. Highlight Prob, go down to number 4, hit Enter again, and that is 720.